Hey everyone, a warm welcome, Happy New Year. And I say warm, it's bitterly cold here in the UK. It's not quite snow in our neck of the woods, there is further up north, but it's very, very icy. And I think on the day that I'm filming this, it's already gone down to about minus 3. So way too cold for me to be out and about. So yeah, I'm inside, I've got a warm or hot cup of coffee, I should say, by my side. But yeah, welcome. This is the first long form video of 2026. I think by the time that this gets uploaded and released, I should have done a couple of YouTube shorts. We'll talk a little bit about the 2026 schedule for videos, be a bit more consistency and kind of cadence and themes as it relates to the videos that are going to be released on the Special Spectrum UK channel. So we'll come on to that in a sec. We'll also cover off what we've been up to as a family, touch a little bit on our own kind of Christmas break, and what's coming up. A few like life admin appointments. We've already started, or starting, I should say. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, this year, would really appreciate kind of continued engagement. If you get the opportunity to share some of the content with those who might be friends, might be family, who you think may also benefit from some of the videos that we're putting out, then would warmly welcome that. It was it will always remain, I'm sure, a small channel, so we sit under the radar in terms of YouTube and the algorithm. But if we can get to as many people who may benefit from these topics, then it can only be a good thing. So I'm going to be making a bit more use of the community tab, and by putting more posts on there. It is interactive in terms of yourselves as viewers can also as well as just responding, can start up your own topics and discussions. So I'd invite everyone to to do that. Feedback to me in respect of the topics of the videos. Are there things we haven't yet covered that you'd like to see covered? And then I can consult the schedule, and if needs be rejig things to make sure that the favoured higher priority items are in there, and ideally brought forward a little bit in terms of the schedule. So on Wednesday of this week, I posted a community update to the channel, and the purpose of this was to explain what you can expect with regards to the videos that get uploaded over the course of the year. Absolutely going to strive for more consistency in terms of frequency, but also in terms of the topics and the themes that are covered. Go and have a look at that post, but it's likely one that's easier to explain, so I'll cover it off now, certainly the key points. Essentially on a Monday and a Thursday, and this is going to be in the evening UK time, there'll be a YouTube short that gets posted. The Monday one will be more motivational, it's more inspirational in nature, hopefully a boost for the week. And the objective of this one is really to hit home the point that as carers, as parents of those with special needs, one is not alone, and there is a community there is support there, etc., etc. So that will be the theme of the Monday short. There'll also be the short on the Thursday, and that's going to be focusing around a practical tip. These are shorts, so they're probably going to be no more than 30, 40 seconds. But in regard to the practical tip, off the top of my head, items in there around avoiding, mitigating, meltdowns, coordinating all this, information that we have on our child between the schools, healthcare practitioners, paediatrician, etc., etc., etc. So you can expect with both of those sets of shorts, there's a really broad array of subjects that can and will be covered. So they'll be weekly, Monday and Thursday, and then fortnightly on a Sunday, again in the evening UK time, there'll be a longer form video. And these longer form videos will fall into 3 categories. The first one will be kind of real life, a vlog style video, and it will be focusing on how we're doing as a family, what's happened, what's coming up, any challenges, and really the content there will depend on, what's happening at that particular time. So at the moment, our focus, we've got a new term. We're focusing on transition to adulthood. Finn turns 18 later on this year. So therefore, looking at day centres, deputyship applications, etc., etc. So that's the first type. The second type will be more of a deeper dive informative video. So for example, a deeper dive looking at, the EHCP process, looking at any, budgetary news and obviously how that then impacts those with special needs. It could also be focusing on, opening a bank account, applying for a passport, etc., etc. And the third and final type of long form video will be around practical coping. So this will focus on things such as, preparing for hospital visits, dealing with days out, minimising stress when going on holiday, talking with, family and friends about special needs, maintaining, relationships, with your partner, your spouse, etc., etc., and friends, whilst caring or parenting for someone with special needs. So we'll cover some fairly, I say like gritty, fairly like challenging areas, but hopefully, useful ones. And what we'll do for all of these as we approach them, probably through the Wednesday community post, I'll give a heads up as to what the long form video of that week will be. But as I've said earlier on in this video, if you've got any feedback, if you've got any particular content that you'd like to see, then either via the community page, post an update, or alternatively, via a video, just leave a comment. Let us know what you'd like to see, and then as needed, we can rejig. It's not like a fixed schedule. We can rejig stuff to hopefully accommodate, the priorities and the wants of those that are watching the videos. So I thought I'd quickly add in what we're up to as a family. As soon as January landed, things to do, things to sort. So first up, next week, I think it's the end of next week, we've got an appointment. We're back at Great Ormond Street, and this time we are visiting the spinal clinic. So normally this involves kind of one end of the hospital to get an x-ray done. And there's always delays, probably like most hospitals, trying to work your way through. Always plenty of confusion with Finn, so he typically has to. There's a couple of positions they put him in when they're doing the X-rays. One's kind of leaning against a wall, and then there's a large X-ray that kind of scans up and down, and I think also so they can see some of the curvature on the spine. There's one where he lies on his side. I think both of them are fairly confusing, because X-rays are, I guess, quite subtle, as opposed to a camera and a rigmarole. You don't really know when it's done, and one of us will typically get clad up in lead, and so we can be with him and just make sure that he doesn't move. So we'll have that, and then we'll go to the other end of the hospital, sometimes in a different building, to see the consultant. Always a different consultant, but to be fair, normally decent ones. And we've had a bit of back and forth. It's improved, but the early meetings we had, they were talking a bit more vocally about a possibility of doing surgery. Got significant curve. I don't know exactly what the angle is in terms of his spine. And on X-ray, well, it looks pretty bad, but when you chat with them, it's fairly uncommon, I think, for everyone to have a completely, straight, vertical spine. So it's perhaps not as funky as one thought. But as he's grown a bit, as he's got a bit older, the discussions have eased off a little bit in terms of surgery. So he still has like physio. I'm always moaning at him to straighten his back and all the rest of it, sit up straight, which is something which she's watching my mum used to do to me. So yeah, so that should hopefully be a good one. We haven't long submitted the application for one of the deputyships, and this is relating to financial affairs. So our ability to look after bank accounts, money, pay bills, administer benefits on Finn's behalf when he turns 18. And so yeah, hopefully that one goes through. You've quite a good local firm. They've had a bit of staff turnover, so we have been dealing with some different faces, but it's kind of just by and by. It's fairly natural, I think, for these companies. Yeah, now we wait. So it goes into the courts. It's a kind of a behind closed doors one, so even us as parents don't attend, and then we just find out a decision via the courts. Again, I mean, I have done a video on deputyships if you want to go back and have a look, but that was ahead of going through this particular one and probably having a bit more practical knowledge around the process, and certainly some learns, some even money. It's quite costly, and there's things perhaps we could have done to have made it a bit more cost effective, like all these things you don't really know going in. So I'll do a separate video detailing some of them, and I'll let you guys and girls know once we hear the fate. I'm not entirely sure what we'd do if they come back and we weren't granted the deputyship, but we'll see. Watch this space. Just looking down at my list if there was anything else. Yeah, the final thing, bit of a charity. It's a charity thing. It's probably to get me off my butt. I'm doing like 100 miles in January. It's for the Epilepsy Society. Obviously a cause that's very close to our hearts, and essentially it involves doing 100 miles in whatever way you deem appropriate. Walking, running, cycling, etc. in January. So I am opting for the walking option, and for my sins, we haven't quite had snow, but it's been really icy, certainly really cold. So it's been quite an interesting way to get out and about. So yeah, I won't post I've done some charity links, like there's like a Just Giving basically. I put that on my Instagram, so go and have a look at that. But yeah, it's mainly, to be honest, it's more for me to do. So myself, my wife, and a friend who's close to the Instagram have donated. So yeah, good to get some double whammy really, make some money, but also I could do with getting a bit more exercise in. And that concludes the video. Final things to say. By now, 2 of the YouTube shorts should have been uploaded. There would have been a bit of a motivational one on Monday, and then followed on Thursday. We did one around scheduling appointments and managing your calendar. So yeah, go and check those out if you haven't done so already. Thanks as always for being part of this journey. As always, if there are particular topics, things you'd like us to cover in future videos, by all means, please do comment below, share the video, always helps. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks very much.